A lot of you just got this email from the Social Security Administration, breaking news that they're going to implement an agency-wide organizational restructuring, workforce reduction in force. So let's talk about that today. You've heard many times that the president is not going to cut Social Security or Medicare, but I can tell you this is essentially a cut of Social Security and Medicare. How do I know? My name is Ed Weir. I ran the third busiest Social Security office in the country, and now in my semi-retirement, I'm helping people throughout the country make sure they get everything they can, everything they earned, everything they need from all things Social Security, retirement, disability, survivor benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, and all the rest of it. So I'm going to tell you exactly how this is going to affect you getting your benefits. It's essentially a block of Social Security benefits. So they said, okay, they've got particular departments in the Social Security Administration, and they're going to downsize those or get rid of those people or reassign those people or give them administrative leave or get rid of them, whatever the case may be. A lot of these, and they said, hey, we're going to put these people in the field offices. Well, a lot of these people may not necessarily be in the field offices. They're in the headquarters back in Baltimore. They are in the regional offices, the 9 regional offices throughout the country, teleservice centers, wherever the case may be. And they might not be able to relocate. You've got a lot of people that are just going to say, okay, well, forget about it. I've already served, 30 years in the Social Security Administration, so I'm just going to go ahead and retire. So we're going to see a lot of people leaving the agency, a lot of people. And already Social Security is at a 50-year low in terms of staffing, just at the time as the baby boomers are starting to retire. We've got 11,000 baby boomers reaching the age of 65 every single day. That is a record in U.S. history. And at the same time, although those people are getting to the retirement age, you've got less and less staff to help out. So the president and Congress all the time said, we're not going to cut Social Security. We're not going to cut Medicare. Well, number one, that's already going to be done. That's automatic. You don't have to cut Social Security or Medicare because that's already in the books, in the sense of, if you look at the Social Security Trustees report, if you look at the Congressional Budget Office, I've got all of the links in my YouTube description. You go down there and you can see all the reports. We're looking at automatic cuts, 2033, 2034, anywhere from 21 to 22%. If the president gets some of the things he's talking about, no taxes on Social Security, no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, then that's going to put more of a stress on the Social Security Trust Fund, and those funds are going to end sooner. So if you say, I'm not going to touch Social Security, I'm not going to cut it, I'm not going to cut Medicare, then that's fine. Okay, that's a start of a good answer. But the good answer is, I'm not going to cut it, but I'm also going to make sure it doesn't get cut in the future. If you don't finish the sentence with that, you're just basically saying, I'm not going to burn it down, I'm going to watch it burn down. So we have to make sure we reach out to our politicians. And let me throw that up right now. This is how you do it. Reach out to your politicians and tell them, this is the senator's number, president's number, and tell them to make sure cuts don't happen right now. Tell them to staff the Social Security offices so you can actually get your benefits, because the current cuts, this is how this works. Because it's essentially a blocking of access. They say, okay, your money is still there. It's still in the trust fund. Your retirement benefits, your survivor benefits, your spouse benefits, your Medicare, all that stuff is still there. We're not going to cut any of that. But in terms of getting it, yeah, good luck with that. As you know, if you call the Social Security Administration, you're looking at about a 3-hour wait if you're lucky. And I've come up with a bunch of tips, tricks, and secrets, based on my decades working inside the beast, of how to work around that. So the people that subscribe and watch my channel on a regular basis, they know how to work the system, and it's going to be even more important going forward that you protect yourself and you get every benefit you're earned and you paid for and you need. And people in my community go out and take that information and help the little old lady down the street, help out their other relatives so they can get those benefits. So it's going to be a delay of retirement benefits. You're not going to be able to get the right check at the right time because you're not going to be able to get in there. And they say, well, I'll just go, I'll file online. I filed online. It was an issue. They also closed down that office as well. The Office of Transformation, those are the people that update the Social Security SSA.gov website. Those are the people that are trying to make Social Security more efficient by, My Social Security, by being able to upload documents into, your folder, and all the other things that they were trying to do to bring frankly, Social Security into the 21st century, or perhaps in the 19th century. Social Security needs a lot of efficiency. Does it have fraud, waste, and abuse? Of course. But don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and make it more difficult for those people that paid into Social Security all their lives to get those benefits. So I've just got off the phone with somebody and they're talking about getting Medicare. They lost their Medicaid and they're not able to get in there. So they're going to be without health coverage for about a month or two until Social Security picks up the phone and is able to answer their questions. And what we're going to see is we're going to see a mass exodus from employees. I've already been reached out to a lot of people that I've known throughout the country that worked at Social Security. And they said, yeah, we're tired. Yeah, we're done. We're out of here. There's other jobs I can find, or, I'm close to retirement. I'm just going to go ahead and retire. And all of that knowledge is just going to go out there with them. And hey, if you need help with Medicare, Medicare Advantage, Medicare supplements, Part D plans, make sure you reach out to my partners at Chapter Medicare. I looked for a place that would help you all out, and Chapter Medicare knocked it out of the park. They've got excellent customer service. They look at every single plan in your area, and their help is always 100% free. Give them a call and they'll see if they can help you out, and tell them Dr. Ed said hi. Congress said, okay, oops, we made a mistake. Like Elon Musk made a mistake on, Ebola. Maybe that's something we ought to spend money on to make sure it doesn't, ramp up again in Africa and spread throughout the world. Oh, maybe we should, refund that. If Congress decides, oops, maybe we shouldn't block access, essentially block access for people to get their Social Security, retirement, Medicare benefits, let's go ahead and give Social Security the resources so they can help people out, so you're not getting all those delays. Even if they did that today, it would take a good year or 2 years to train those people, because Social Security, over 20,000 pages of policy, it's difficult. Congress wrote all this. It's the Social Security Administration's, that's their job to learn all that policy and to implement it. But it's Congress who actually wrote all of those laws that Social Security has to implement. But it takes a good year or 2 years to train someone to learn how to do that. And with the Social Security offices just barely able to stay above water, actually, they're not going to be treading water anymore, unfortunately. They're not going to be able to spend any time on training, because they're just, trying to handle the people calling in. So they're going to lose that knowledge. The people that are really, really good are just going to decide to go out and get another job, or just go ahead and retire. So it's going to leave the, let's just say, the people that are not perhaps the best in terms of customer service and knowledge. They're going to just, stay behind. And I can tell you this, running a Social Security office with any place, if you can't get another employee, like, okay, well, I'd really like to fire this person, but they still do 80% of the work. They're not as great as all the other people that do 100%. But if I fire that person, I can't hire anybody else. So either I take the 80% and, try to get another 1% or 2% out of that person, or I take 0% and nobody gets helped out. So unfortunately, a lot of, Social Security offices, and it just every place, if you can't get someone to replace it, you just have to deal with what you got. And it's a terrible decision. It shouldn't have to be made. If you've got bad employees, employees that don't help out, that are rude, or whatever the case may be, Social Security managers should be able to just say, yep, sorry. As we used to say in the Marine Corps, you get a big chicken dinner, a bad conduct discharge, and move out, so we can get someone in there that actually wants to, help the American people. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen, because there's a hiring freeze. And so they're going to take the people that are going to be left over are not as trained as they should be. Maybe, unfortunately, not as good in customer service as they should be. And who's going to suffer? You're going to suffer. Your family, when something happens to you and your surviving spouse needs to go in and file for benefits, they just might lose benefits. They might file for the wrong program. Overpayments are going to be, if you're on disability, I'm going to do a longer video tomorrow on disability, on how to make sure you're protected and keep your disability benefits. Millions of people throughout the country are on disability, and they're really worried about what's going to happen. And I'm going to talk about that in length tomorrow. And then also do a live Q&A, because with all things Social Security, that 20,000 pages, there's exceptions to the exceptions to the exceptions. So pretty much every day from 3 o'clock West Coast time, 6 o'clock East Coast time, I do a live Q&A. So make sure you join me for my Q&A and bring your questions. and I'll be able to help you out. If you need help with Medicare, all things Medicare, make sure you reach out to my Medicare partners. We're right now in the middle of open enrollment period, January, February, March. If you've got a Medicare Advantage plan that you don't like, you want to switch, you forgot to review it, reach out to them. If you have a Medicare supplement plan, you might be able to find a cheaper one. Might have to go through health underwriting depending on your particular neck of the woods. If you want to return to Medicare and get out of a Medicare Advantage plan, guess what? Now's the time you can do it. Again, you might have to go through health underwriting, but Chapter Medicare can help you out on all that stuff. And hopefully we will see you on the live Q&A, and at the very least subscribe. And that way you can find us in the future. There's so much misinformation out there on YouTube and all the social media, people that never worked at Social Security trying to provide Social Security expertise and recommendations, which I spend, I think, quite a bit of my time correcting some of that information. So make sure you subscribe, and that way you can find us in the future. And please take care of yourself, and please look out for those around you. Take care, and we'll see you at my next live.